there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your mid-June 2023 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. So I'm a Sun in Sag, as some of you may know. And when I was deciding which sign to do next, I was like, I want to do my sign because I want to find out what the energies are like. So let's see what we got here. I was going to say, oof. Come on, Sag, let's make this a good one. Just for the heck of it, I'm going to pick a follow-up card. Okay. I think, we're in Gemini season, so I have one of the cards here is, actually the challenge card is the Two of Cups. So some of you may be dealing with a situation where you have reunited with someone in particular. This is something going back to the Mercury retrograde, I would say. Perhaps, that's one of the times when people can come back into your life and it might not be what you thought it was going to be. And I mean, that hasn't, well, I was going to say that hasn't happened to me, but it happens to us in different ways. It doesn't just have to be in romantic situations. Sometimes we're on again, off again with different people in our life. And Sages are, I always say that we're like puppy dogs. And we kind of like give people the benefit of the doubt. And sometimes, unfortunately, maybe it's like most of the time, I don't know, am I being too cynical? The person who's acting like they have changed their ways, that's just a ploy. Because they're just, especially like a narcissistic type of individual, they're just using, that as a way to regain somebody's trust. And then they do it to us again. So if you have been dealing with something like that, don't beat yourself up. Like, how could I be so stupid to even believe this person? Just recognize it and decide how you're going to handle it from here. So the heart of the matter is the Seven of Swords. This can be someone who is being very deceptive. This can be like literally cheating on you, stealing from you. And you may be in denial because you're like, but this person acted like they cared. They acted like they really cared about me. And it's almost like, you might feel that it's heartbreaking to contemplate someone betraying your trust like that. And, what I would say about something along those lines is not to get caught up in that, because people who do that, it's not so much making a fool out of the other person or what have you. It's really their own issues that they cannot handle very well. So they do these things, these like sneaky things, that's how they feel better about themselves. Of course, that's messed up, but it is what it is, right? And so just be, aware, because I have with the card I got as the, like for the outcome card, I picked a clarification card. I got the Princess of Swords, which in this deck is the card that means the Page of Swords. And that's a card like the spy card. Watch your back, Don't be lulled into this false sense of security. In the past position, we have the Eight of Pentacles. So, this is a card of somebody who may be training in an apprenticeship, but this might even be like not a literal thing where you're going through some kind of like internship. This could be just like new on the job. If this is a love situation, you might be trying to do your best to be the best partner. Or if this is a situation with a friend or a relative, that you're trying to be on your best behavior. And maybe you really want to salvage this relationship if there have been problems in the past. Remember that it takes two, no matter what it is that you're dealing with. The higher message, which is kind of like what you have to contend with, the bigger picture, is the Five of Swords. This can be that individual who, you see Saturn in this particular depiction of the Five of Swords. Saturn is this planet of karma, of restriction. So this is not present in the Rider-Waite deck. This is, you know, the imaginings of someone, you know, whoever drew this picture. But the Five of Swords is a card of, it could be like being smeared. There's something, you know, I mentioned, I don't know, did I mention the narcissistic smear? So the person who is trying to make you look bad. Maybe they smile to your face. I always see this card as, you know, nasty pieces of work, co-workers. When you're dealing with these people that are very two-faced. And so the point, I guess, with that Seven of Swords and the Five of Swords is that you have to be more discerning, because you might be placing your trust in a person or people that are not deserving of it, that have not shown themselves to be good. Maybe they've been bad actors. The card that crosses you is the Two of Cups. This was what I was referring to. And it's almost like it looks like a baptism with this particular deck, which is kind of unusual. But in general, this is the card of reunion, of like commitment. So if somebody's on the fence, and this is of course Sagittarius can be very ambivalent about commitment because we love freedom, you know, but this isn't necessarily on your end. Maybe this is the other person who has a hard time committing. And sometimes you may see this through like Chiron in the 7th house, if you know your natal chart. But that's not the only situation where commitment issues may be a pattern. But looking at it from that point of view, sometimes this is a card of forgiveness, and so this would be lack of forgiveness. Now, an interesting thing that you might consider is if you have had situations in the past where somebody has betrayed you and you have not forgiven that person, and usually Sagittarius are very forgiving, but if you have like the moon in Scorpio or Venus or Mars in Scorpio, you may have the tendency to hold on to these things, or even Mercury in Scorpio. You know, this lack of forgiveness, you might think that that's a totally separate issue because it has nothing to do with the current relationship. And I think that it can totally mess with future relationships. And I often tell that to people with a prominent Scorpio, is that they can create a self-fulfilling prophecy through their own trust issues that they have that are unresolved. And I know that people may question that, but I feel like it is totally a possibility. That still doesn't absolve the other person of responsibility, though, I want to say. What's coming in is the Two of Swords and more twos, right? Oh, I just had two twos, right? And the number 2, when you have it in astrology, can mean that you have a decision to make. And you can even see by this depiction that it's like a crossroads, this cross, meaning that there's only, well, I don't like to say there's only 2 ways you can deal with it, but maybe you've been trying to ignore a situation, hope that it's just going to blow over, but now it's like very clear. You're either going to have to accept something or you're going to walk away from it. Because, for instance, in the workplace, you can't really legislate or mandate other people from talking behind your back or whatever. If it's something that's blatant and you're even aware of it and you're being treated badly very openly, then that's a different story. But if you suspect it, it kind of shows where everything is at. It might be a toxic workplace. So in those types of situations, you have to decide, do I want to continue here or do I just want to kind of move on? And if you choose to move on, it could be because you don't like to go there every day, just like kind of you feel that sense of negative energy as you contemplate even, leaving at the end of the day. I mean, at the beginning of the day, going to this workplace. So, or if it has to do with a personal relationship, same thing. Outcome, Princess of Pentacles, which is, Prince of Pentacles. This is a Knight of Pentacles. And this, like for work-related things, I've been getting this card a lot. You see, this is like Taurus. And it's interesting because for Sag, in terms of astrological transits, there's 2 planets right now transiting the sign of Taurus. One of them is our ruler, Jupiter, and that went into Taurus on May 17th. And the second one is Uranus, which is the ruler of Aquarius. Now, why is this significant? Because Uranus and Jupiter are both planets that I associate with freedom. And they are both in the solar 6th house for Sagittarius. This, if you, think of Sag as almost like the rising sign, even if that's your sun sign, then Taurus is the 6th house. So this is a house of work and health. This area is being influenced by 2 planets that are associated with freedom. And in the case of Jupiter, there could be blessings, there could be expansion, meaning that things are going to blow up for you in this area. And that so with the Knight of Pentacles as the outcome card, this to me is, first of all, showing that connection to the sign of Taurus, because it's connected to that. But in terms of how, how they say, what would Jesus do? What would the Knight of Pentacles do in a toxic workplace? Well, it would say that person would have a great work ethic. They would go in every day for as long as they chose to. And that's kind of what the 8 of Pentacles is about too. It's about doing your best job. Even if, it's like, instead of mailing it in, instead of kind of like doing something half-assed, half-heartedly, that you are consistent, you're persistent, you're grounded, and you may be making plans, right as you're doing that, but you're still showing up and you're still showing yourself to be a good worker. Because one of the things that happens when we deal with toxic people is that they bring out the worst in us. And that can mean that it makes a person feel like, well, I don't even want to deal with that. If they're talking behind my back, if they're cutting me down, I just want to get the hell out of here. And I'm just going to do the least amount that I have to do until I leave. Why should I even try? Because, all they're going to do is put me down anyway. But you kind of like, if you do something like that, then you lower yourself to their level. And you don't want to do that. You want to kind of be the best version of yourself when you're doing your work. So that's what I have for you with that card. And I picked I should have left it there, actually. I just thought it was kind of like not very eventful, but anyway, I did pick a clarification card. I got the Page of Swords, and this is that card that is the spy card, the card of watching your back. And that kind of solidified for me that there might be something going on behind the scenes, either in your personal life or in your work life. And that may be making you feel like you don't know who to trust. But in some cases, like if it is in the workplace and if you don't want to be run out of there, maybe people are trying to intimidate you, that you document it. That's what the Page of Swords can mean. So you're not just, the victim of something. You're actually taking a stand. So you might be able to make a case for something. Okay, that's what I have for you, Sag. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.